Marathon Patent Group stock news update. Okay guys, so I'm going to make another video about Marathon Patent Group. So this is another one of these so-called Bitcoin miners that I don't think a lot of people are really aware of. And we're going to talk a lot why I think this stock is worth a ton more in this video. Before I get into the video, guys, I want to tell you about Weebl. So if you guys are fed up with Robinhood and you want to switch over to another free stock trading app, be sure to check out Weebl. And they recently changed their promotion. So you used to get 4 free stocks. You now get 2 free stocks when you sign up, open a brokerage account, and deposit at least $100. You will get 2 free stocks worth up to $1,800 and $1,850, guys. So be sure to check out that promo by clicking the link in the description below. Okay, so let's get back into this video about Marathon Patent Group. So to give you guys a short run up on what Bitcoin mining is, it's similar to basically gold mining, but it's like the digital version. So these companies, they run out what they call anti-miners, which are like S-19 anti-miners. A lot of them produced by a company called Bitmain, and they go out and they basically mine Bitcoin. So Bitcoins are basically earned by completing transactions on a blockchain, and for every transaction you complete, you end up, the reward is Bitcoins in the form of Satoshis. So these companies are basically going out and they're going to be basically deploying literally tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of Bitcoin miners, S-19s, and altogether these companies are going to be earning a revenue. So one of the reasons why I like Marathon Patent Group so much is frankly, the stock is super cheap. So the market cap is literally under like $3 billion, guys. And I mentioned in the previous video before, I think I mentioned the stock, it was like right around maybe like $8, $9, right around there. I said that this stock, along with Riot Blockchain, ticker symbol RIOT, both of these stocks have a lot of huge upside. And so far the stock has done pretty nicely. And as we can see here, the chart has basically formed a solid base around $15 or so. And obviously it had that huge run up when Bitcoin ran up to about $40,000, and there was a lot of resistance here. But the good thing about this stock is that it's going to basically trace Bitcoin very closely. And I've heard some outrageous price targets for Bitcoin of like $1 million by the end of 2021. So these stocks have a super high upside. If you guys want to check out all of my favorite Bitcoin crypto stocks, be sure to check out my article. I linked to it in the description below. I listed my 5 favorite Bitcoin crypto stocks. So let's get into the news updates, guys. So there were 2 really big news updates that have basically been posted since I previously posted that video a while ago. So the first one I really want to talk about is simply companies and corporations using Bitcoin as a treasury reserve. So this is revolutionary stuff, guys. So as you can see here, it says Marathon invests $150 million in Bitcoin. Investments established Marathon one of the only pure play Bitcoin investment options. So this press release was posted on January 25. As you can see here, it says one of the largest enterprise Bitcoin self-mining companies in North America announced that they purchased 4,812 Bitcoins at an aggregate purchase price of $150 million. So let's read this a little bit closely. It says, by purchasing $150 million worth of Bitcoin, we have accelerated the process of building Marathon to what we believe is the de facto investment choice for individuals and institutions who are seeking exposure to this new asset class. We also believe that holding our treasury reserves in Bitcoin be a better long-term strategy than holding US dollars, similar to other forward-thinking companies such as MicroStrategy. To date, we have contracted to purchase over 103,000 big miners, all of which are expected to be delivered and fully deployed by the end of the first quarter of fiscal 2022. If all the miners were operational today based on the Bitcoin network's current difficulty rate, we could produce approximately 55 to 60 Bitcoins per day. So why do I like this company so much? Well, I also own a stock called MicroStrategy, and the CEO of MicroStrategy, Michael Saylor, he was probably the first CEO that I can think of that added Bitcoin to its balance sheet. And it looks like Marathon Patent Group has followed suit. So here's my prediction on this. As we speak, as I'm recording this video, there's going to be a huge webinar that's going to be hosted by the MicroStrategy CEO, Michael Saylor, on Wednesday, February the 3rd. And he has over 1,400, yes, over 1,400 CEOs and executive members of big companies that are thinking about adding Bitcoin to their balance sheet. So this is huge. And I predicted this. I thought that once MicroStrategy did, a lot more companies will follow suit. And the reason is simply because literally Bitcoin has been generating like a compounded annual growth rate of like 150 to 200% every year over the last 10 years. You can't find that in any stock. And the fact is that when you hold basically a ton of money in US dollars, it really doesn't generate any interest now with like the interest rates from the Fed are just basically zero. And basically holding cash, you're actually losing money, right? Because we have inflation. So let's say the bank pays you like less than 1% and then inflation is 2%. Actually, by holding cash, you're just losing money. So this is huge. And this also gives, I think, Marathon a lot of upside now because you have a lot of investors that maybe they're not really comfortable with buying Bitcoin straight out because you need a digital wallet or a Bitcoin wallet. For instance, I use Coinbase. So you guys can check out Coinbase by clicking the link in the description below if you want to actually buy Bitcoin outright. But there are a lot of like baby boomers and things like that who maybe aren't comfortable with buying Bitcoin, but they can definitely buy stock. So by them adding Bitcoin to the balance sheet, I think it just gives the company a lot more momentum, and it also helps to actually grow that cash reserve a lot more. And then the second press release, which was posted on February 1st, talks about the Bitmain ships 4,000 Antminer S-19 Pro ASIC miners to Marathon Patent Group. So this is kind of the real game changer. So I really like the news of adding Bitcoin to the balance sheet. Now we're getting into the actual mining segment. So it says Marathon's current mining fleet consists of 2,560 miners generating 248 petahash per second. And it says each S19 Pro miner produces 110 terahash per second and adds 0.11 petahash to the company's existing operations. Once the additional 4,000 miners are installed, the company's mining fleet will consist of 6,560 miners. So why is this important? Well, by the end of this year, the company is actually expecting to have over 100,000 Bitcoin miners, guys. So what does all of this mean? Well, if you have all of these miners can go out here and they can generate, if we checked out the article that I mentioned before, I believe that they can generate around 55 to 60 Bitcoins based on the current capacity. So obviously, if the company is able to deploy the rest of those miners, then they're going to have a ridiculous amount of Bitcoins purchased. So like I said, they're basically able to be able to mine around 55 to 60 Bitcoins per day. So that's just crazy. If they have all of the miners deployed, which is around 100,000, it says here that we would produce approximately 55 to 60 Bitcoins per day, an average cost of 4,541 Bitcoin, and that would generate around 51.5 million in revenue per month, 43.6 million in gross profit per month. Wow. So, if they can live up to these claims, now obviously they're not going to have all of these Antminer S-19s. They're not going to all be deployed until probably the end of next year. But if they can really generate $50 million in revenue per month, and that's with Bitcoin's current price. So remember, I said that Bitcoin could potentially hit $1 million or more by the end of the year. I know it sounds crazy, but no one thought Bitcoin would go from $3,000 to $40,000, and that's over like a 12x. So if Bitcoin, definitely has the potential to go much higher. Obviously, I don't know if it's going to go to $1 million, but the potential's there, and the revenue could be substantially much higher, assuming the price of Bitcoin is going to increase as well. Let's say the price of Bitcoin doesn't really reach $1 million. Let's say it reaches maybe 300,000. Well, according to these calculations, with all these Antminers deployed, the company could generate a whopping, is it possible, 500 million per revenue per month just mining Bitcoin? Well, like I said, we'll never know. This is still a speculative stock, and there is some risk here, but I like the upside, and just trading at around $24, I think it's really, really, really strong buy. So I'm going to be adding more shares of it. I just think it's too cheap. And also, there's another, if you don't like this one, you can check out Riot Blockchain. That's another option. But Marathon Patent Group, and a really excellent crypto stock, and one that I don't see a lot of people talking about. Obviously, everyone knows about, if you're familiar with Bitcoin, you know about MicroStrategy, but I would say don't sleep on Marathon Patent Group. This company's doing a lot of things kind of under the radar, and I expect them to get a lot more mainstream attention probably in the second half. In the second half of 2021, Bitcoin really starts to break out. So now, I think, is a good time to get in here. So my future price prediction, well, Considering that the market cap is just on under $3 billion or so, I would say a conservative price estimate for this company. I mean, if they're able to seriously generate like $50 million in revenue, assuming Bitcoin's price, which is already higher than the price they quoted in the press release, but let's say that the company is able to do around, let's say $50 million in revenue per month. That's around 600 million in annual revenue. And if we were to buy this company at around 10 times price to sales ratio, that would give this company basically a market cap of around $6 billion to $7 billion. So I think $50 is a conservative price target. It's probably going to trade much higher than that throughout this year, but I think $50 is a nice target. So I'll be buying more here. I see a nice consolidation pattern here, and it looks like we have a nice cup and handle pattern that's starting to form. So, really it depends on the price of Bitcoin. If Bitcoin breaks out past 40,000, this stock could really shoot. So I think now's a good time. Like I said, Michael Saylor this week, he's going to be talking to over 1,400 institutional and CEOs and things like that with big money, and they can really drive the price of Bitcoin up at the end of this week, guys. So now I think is a decent time to get into this stock before it runs up much higher. So that's it until now, guys. I hope you enjoyed my video. Please smash the like button if you enjoy my content, and hit the red subscribe button to receive more videos from me. And be sure to check out my daily Stock Watch newsletter on Substack, and check out my Discord chat if you guys want to subscribe to my private Discord chat. Talk more about crypto stocks and other high growth industries for 2021. So that's it until next time, guys. Take care.